it's Clarissa and welcome back to my channel. If you are new, welcome. Today's video, as you guys can see from the title, is going to be the second part of my little series. If you have not watched the first video of this series where I kind of take you guys through how I take pictures on my own for Instagram, please go ahead and watch that. The link's going to be up above as well as in the description down below. If you have seen that video and are really curious to know how I'm going to edit these pictures that I took, I'm going to go ahead and take you guys through that today. So without further ado, we're going to kind of go ahead and go to the screen of my laptop. Okay, so these are just a bunch of the pictures. This is gonna go ahead and be a pre-warning for you all as I'm going through these pictures, but I'm not wearing a bra. If nipples offend you, then I'm sorry, this is not the video for you, because surprise, I have nipples, and you can kind of see them in the shirt that I'm wearing because it was a little chilly out when I went outside, but that's sort of the only warning I'm giving you. If you comment anything below, it's just going to be ignored because everyone has nipples and we're gonna free the nipple. Okay, anyway. So this is all the pictures that I have, all the different locations that I have. We're gonna go ahead and go through a few of them. So what I do when I go through pictures is I go ahead and tag them. So I just double click on my Mac and then I add a color. So this one I did gray. So I'm just gonna go ahead and sort them with the tags. And I'm gonna go ahead and just edit probably like one or two of those for you all. So let's see which one I wanna do. Let's do this one and this one. So I'm gonna click both those photos, open with Photoshop. So these are camera raw images, so they're automatically gonna open in like my camera raw filter because they're not just JPEG images. So when I open them on my computer, that's what it does. So here we have this camera raw photo editor, and this is kind of where I do a lot of my initial fixing of like the colors and sort of making it more cool tone or warm tone or whatever it is that I'm looking for to do in the photo. This is kind of where I make all of those kind of adjustments. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that here. So usually I mess with the temperature. This one I kind of want it a little bit warmer, so I'm gonna kind of make it a little bit warmer, add a little bit more pinks, up the exposure so it's a little bit brighter, up the contrast. Maybe actually take away some, no, I'm gonna up the highlights just a tiny bit, up the shadows so I want to be able to see most of the picture, but I'm gonna take away a lot of the whites. I usually end up doing that just because usually my pores are shiny white and just that kind of stuff, so I notice it a little bit more. And I'm gonna take down blacks. Okay, I got a coarse grade, that's great. I'm gonna cry later, so we're just gonna delete that email. Alright, work on the clarity. I'm not really going to mess with the saturation and the vibrance in this photo because this one's pretty bright, so I'm just going to do color stuff later. Alright, and then the next thing I do is go to this detail tab. I add a good amount of sharpening, and then usually I'll do a little bit of luminance. The noise reduction is usually for darker photos, so this really shouldn't be an issue, but I just feel like it makes the image a little bit sharper, and I especially feel like when I'm bringing things over to Instagram and editing on my phone, I want to make sure that I do a lot of this super detailed, sharp editing now on my computer. Okay, then I always go over to camera calibration, this little tab right here, and I'm bringing the blues out. I kind of tend to like doing that because it kind of makes the other colors a lot brighter. And then because this one's the red shirt, I'm gonna adjust the reds just a little bit. Let's see, I want them a little bit more pinky because I'm gonna make that shirt pink. Spoiler alert. Now I'm gonna go over to split toning. So this is sort of the biggest thing that I do with the photos in here. So I'm gonna change the hue, the saturation, and the luminance. So first off is I'm in a red shirt, so normally if I'm not in red clothing, I'll usually bring the luminance down because the luminance is usually only like my mouth and cheeks in that area. But I'm gonna put it up just a tiny bit. Oranges, that's, as you guys can see, mostly my face. So I'm just gonna bring that up just a tiny bit. Yellows, also mostly my skin, and then like my chain and some background there. So I'm gonna bring that actually down. Greens doesn't really do anything. Aqua should do the jacket. Nope, not even the jacket. Aqua doesn't really do much. Blues, that does the jacket. So I'm gonna make the blues a little bit brighter. Purples is like gonna be some tones in the shirt and little different things. Magenta is probably my eyes and my lips. So we're gonna bring that up in luminance a little bit. Next, going on to saturation. So I wanna really kind of saturate those reds. Probably put in a little bit more orange too. Little less yellow. less green since there really isn't any, less aqua since there really isn't any, and a little bit more blue. And then a little bit less purples, and then magenta I'll do a little bit more. Okay, now the hue is what's gonna actually change the tone, change obviously the color itself. So even though I really wanna make the shirt pink, I can't do that because this is the tones of the reds in the entire photo and I don't wanna have a red face like that. So I'm gonna end up doing that in Photoshop. So for this, I am gonna move it over just a little bit, but I'm gonna worry about doing that in Photoshop. Same thing with oranges. I can't really change much on here because it'll change the whole tone of my face. I do want it a little less, there we go, like that. For the blues, I'll make them a little bit more like cyan, like that. Purples doesn't really do much. Magentas I usually make that way. Now we're going to open the images in Photoshop when my computer wants to open them. I'm gonna go ahead and start off with this one since we did it before, so I always duplicate the layer. So I'm gonna do that. And then, so first thing I'm gonna do is, I gave you guys that warning about my nipples, but to post it on Instagram, I'm gonna go ahead and just blur out my nipples. So I'm just gonna this spot healing tool and just go ahead and fix that little shadow right there so you can't see my actual nipple. Okay, yeah, you can still kind of tell, but it's not as bad. Now I'm gonna go ahead and fix the little blemishes that are on my face. My makeup is okay today, but as you can see, I still have like a few little bumps on my face. I want my lips to be a little bit smoother. And the little lines on my forehead and stuff. Nothing crazy, but if I'm gonna be using my camera, I really want the best quality. So I'm gonna do the same thing, use the spot healing tool and just kind of go over those little bumps that you wouldn't be able to see except for the fact that I can see all of my pores in my camera. So I'm just gonna go over and fix all those little thingies. I have a lot of acne scarring too, so sometimes there's little like craters in my face. Just gonna fix little tiny bumps. Okay. Alright, so now I have mostly of the skin stuff done. And so the next thing I usually do is dodge and burn. So this kind of just makes it more cartoon-like. And for a lot of professional photography, this is a lot of what the retouching that they do is. They do local and global dodge and burn. We're not going to get into all of the different things like that. I'm just going to do some global dodge and burn. So it's just like right on this photo, I'm just going to dodge and burn the photo itself. So I'm going to go over where I have like my highlights and just make it a little bit brighter too. See the difference that it makes. So that a little bit, and then I have right here that should be brighter, so I'm gonna make that pop a little bit more. And then on my Cupid's bow, and then just in general sort of areas of my face, underneath my eyes it's a little brighter, and then this area here, it's kind of like wherever you'd be putting on makeup. That's kind of where you want to do it, is the general idea. And then let's make my collarbone pop a little bit more, as well as my gold jewelry and the hand. Okay, and that's sort of the difference. See, before, after, it's very, very subtle. Things that like obviously makeup and lighting all would fix, but we're just going to do that in some little retouching. And then I'm going to go ahead and use the burn tool to just kind of enhance that highlight a little bit and sort of the contouring on my face. Okay, before and after, before, after. Okay, I just noticed this little line here and that's gonna bug me from the eyelash, so I'm just gonna fix it. There we go. Okay, now it's a little bit shorter, matches the rest of it. This hair kind of bugs me, but it doesn't really take away from the photo, so I'm just gonna leave it alone, honestly, because then I'd have to go in and fill that in, and that's just a lot to happen. Okay, so next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and make it bigger for Instagram. So I don't want to have to, actually I might want to crop this one anyway, but I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to do this anyway. So I just take it and I'm going to make it like, let's say 14 inches, add 2 inches, log it from the bottom because I just want to add to the outside. There we go. And then I'm just going to select the area around my body because I don't want to pull my body, but I'm going to free transform and just make it a little bit bigger. And do the same thing on this side. There's a little bit less space for me to work with, so that's going to look kind of weird. But yeah, see, you can definitely tell right there where the stairs are, but you know, if you don't know that I'm doing this, you wouldn't really know. I'm just trimming it because there's like this little bit of stuff left over here. There we go. And I want it gone. Okay, so now that that's gone, I'm gonna go ahead and do some more little changes. So I'm gonna adjust the curves in the pictures, just make it a little bit brighter. And also the levels. So make the darks like darker and then make the lights pop a little bit more. Okay. Alright, now I'm gonna go ahead and do the color adjustment to change the color of my shirt. So, alright, click on the background layer. Oh no, don't do this. Okay. And I'm gonna select my shirt, make sure I get as much of it as I can. Now that I have just the shirt selected, I'm gonna go ahead and do the selective color tool, and I'm gonna go to reds, and I'm gonna try my best to make this shirt pink. Okay, so we're gonna take away a little bit of the color, take away the yellow. So I really want this to match my Instagram feed. So you guys can't see it on this screen, but I'm pulling up my Instagram feed and I'm kind of just looking at the pink color that I have in there because I want to kind of try to match that. Okay, so now that I have the pink top, you guys could tell there was a little bit over here that I didn't select, so I can actually just go to the eraser tool and I'm erasing the background. So I'm just kind of erasing the layer mask that I created when I only selected that area so that I can actually go to the layer that's underneath and just go in kind of over that to make that little part that was left red pink as well, so that you really can't tell that I changed the color of this top, even though you all know that I changed it now. So now I'm gonna do some things with my face. So I'm gonna sharpen the face, go in to that sharpen tool, and I'm gonna do luminosity, and I'm going to focus that on my eyes so that my eyes really pop, as well as those lashes. So I'm gonna just go in and do this. So you can really kind of see that definition and color in my eyes, and then do my lashes as well. And then I'm just gonna do a little nose highlight and my lips. It's looking pretty good. Let's see, this is the original photo. And here we have all of the different adjustments, and this is what we have now. So I kind of like the way this is coming out, so I'm just gonna leave this like it is, and then we're gonna go ahead and, so now what I'm just gonna do is I'm gonna do file, save as, I'm gonna save it as pink shirt stairs. Save it as a JPEG, save, okay, and then I save that in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that photo and I'm gonna airdrop it to my phone so that I can show you guys me editing on my phone. I'm gonna go to my photo editing apps over here and I'm gonna first open it in Facetune. We're just gonna ignore that phone. Okay. I was taking selfies, guys, as you guys can see. So now I'm just gonna go to this photo. I'm gonna go ahead and really just get rid of the bags underneath my eyes. So we're just gonna blur that a little bit with the smoothing tool. This is usually the bulk of what I'm doing. And then smooth the skin around my nose a little bit. And my mouth. And then maybe that forehead spot too. Okay. That's the before and after. It's not really a big difference, but just the little stuff to get rid of sort of the little wrinkles and whatnot. Okay, now I'm gonna go in with the details and I'm gonna bring out my eyes again because I really want my eyes to pop. So go thin there, go on my lashes, the nose, the lips. Almost the same thing I did on Photoshop, but I'm just doing it on this app as well. And then I'm going to bring out the details of the jacket and everything. Save to camera roll. And then I'm going to bring it over to Visco. And then I use the same filter for when I do all of my photos so that they all kind of blend together and they all have the same sort of look, even when I kind of edit the photos a little bit differently. So I always use KK1. So I'm going to put that on this photo. Obviously I don't like it that way. That's not what I wanted. I'm only going to do it really light on this photo because I want to make sure that top stays pink. And this photo has a lot of reds in it, or this filter has a lot of reds in it, as you guys can see. So let's just do a very little bit. Now I'm just going to do a bunch of little adjustments. So I'm going to be doing sharpening. That's usually the first thing I do, just a little bit. Saturation, so I want it to be a little bit more colorful. And then I'm going to bring down the highlights just because I kind of want my makeup to look a little bit more matte. And then because I want that pinky tone in this one, I'm going to kind of bring the skin tone to more of like the red side, which is that left side. Then I'm going to add a little bit more sharpening. And all of these little adjustments that I'm making are kind of based on me just looking at the photo. So I also wanted to bring the temperature down a little bit. I feel like it was kind of too warm. So I wanted to make that adjustment to make it a little bit more blue and sort of bring out that pinks again. Whenever I do that kind of stuff, I usually am using all the same settings, so I go through it very quickly. But like I said, it's kind of based on each of the photos, so it's a little bit different every time, but I'm basically doing the same thing. So this is just kind of one example of me editing a photo. I kind of wanted to do more, but I realized how long of a process this actually is. I don't do this for all of my photos. Some of them I do a lot different things on them, but because the way my Instagram is right now, I do take a lot of like pride in like the visuals of my Instagram, and I know that some people might look at this and be like, why would you do that much just to post a photo? But as a photographer and as someone who like takes a lot of pride in like visuals and the way things look, I kind of want every little detail to be fixed that I can fix without altering the image too much. I'm not gonna over like Facetune my face or do anything crazy so I'm like a complete catfish, but I am gonna make the image look better than it did just straight out of my camera. So I do take the time to do this kind of stuff for my photos. Most of the time I am bringing things into Photoshop and doing little things in Photoshop as well as doing them on my phone and doing little things. Sometimes I bring them straight in Photoshop, post that on Instagram, but like I said, because I have that sort of ongoing filter that I use for all of them, I usually bring them into my phone just for the solid fact that I want kind of the same color grading and that kind of thing for the other photos. But let me know what you guys thought of this video. Did you think this was cool? Which part of this series did you like better? Did you kind of like better the video about me talking about how to take these photos on your own, or did you think it was more helpful to actually see how I edited the photos once I get them? Let me know what you thought in the comments down below. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe if you have not already, and make sure you check out some of my other videos, and I will see you guys in my next video.